You're listening to Founders Keep, written by M.R.R. Lopez. Narrated by Henry Kramer and Jenna Doulong.
Day by day, she watched the landscape change from pleasant, lush green hills to dark, gloomy, and jagged granite. These mountains were not green at all. Any speck of color was the beginning of a pale blue glacier, peeking over the barren, pointed white tooth-like ridges. Nora grimaced. Even the pine trees near the shoreline seemed more black than green. The ship's crew trimmed their sails as they slipped into the busy sea lane that led to their final destination. Her determined sky-blue eyes gazed upward at the Helvisti lighthouse on the snow-capped mountain that overlooked the city and large port below. The city stood out like a gem, wedged in between two seams of granite stone. Nora suspected the brightly colored buildings of randomly assorted vibrant purples, blues, and bright greens were to make up for their perpetually oppressive gloomy gray clouds, and harsh, jagged snow-capped mountains that sheltered the city from the Baru waste beyond. Nora dipped her chilled nose beneath her red scarf. She was glad Vila had gotten it for her. She initially had refused it, but during their brief stop in Talc Ruin, he had bought it anyway, and halfway to Helvisti, he had regifted it to her, which she begrudgingly accepted.
Master Torin's dark brown eyes did not hold light, only grim reality. He did not smile, he did not laugh, and he never slept. On this night, Master Torin sat in the cold watchtower on top of Dragon Mount and gazed out toward the ocean. The waves shimmered like black diamonds beneath the full moon. Torin did not look at the moon. He did not want to see its face. So many faces. So many faces, too often he saw someone. Someone that was dead. But it wasn't them. They could never come back. And then the night was disturbed by the sound of the creaking ladder below. Torin reached for his crossbow. "You're awake," Torin grunted. Torin rarely talked, but he did so sparingly. And one of the ways to avoid conversations was to beat Simmons from stating the painfully obvious and to put a cork into the endless questions. Simmons grimaced as he bonked his head on the low ceiling, and closed the trapdoor below him and crouched until he was able to make himself comfortable on a wooden bench across from Torin, and pulled out his spyglass. The silhouette of a black wing strafed across the moon like an obsidian blade. "I can't sleep with that drake flying around," Simmons grunted, and then frowned as he noticed the crossbow. "Cora said you've been carrying that around all over the place," Simmons remarked. Torin said nothing. He just sat there, a big black mountain of deafening silence. Simmons focused quickly and turned back toward the dragon. "It's massive. Twice as big as Rex. I've never seen a bull drake so big," he marveled with dread and awe. "It's like it's just waiting for one of us to fly out," he scowled. "That's because it is," Torin grunted, and passed over a flask to Simmons. Simmons knocked it back. Only a few drops of hard drink came out. "It's empty." "I know," he grunted agitatedly. Simmons smirked and took out his own flask, and poured a shot of hard drink and handed it back. "On the house," he chuckled. Torin quickly emptied it and gave a nod of appreciation. And then the deafening silence continued.